So this is going to be a review of Chucky, the TV series. The entirety of the show comprised of 3 seasons. It somewhat recently just got canceled just a few weeks ago, just as I was finally finishing up season 3. So I felt like putting out a review/memoriam for the whole show. Now, if you've yet to watch the series and have interest in watching it, I won't go into any hardcore spoilers here that'll ruin the experience for you. Now, the show debuted in 2021, but admittedly, I didn't get around to watching the show until 2022. I was admittedly behind on my Chucky movies. I hadn't seen anything after Seed of Chucky, so specifically Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky. So I took the time to do a marathon of all the movies to get caught up, and I even included watching the 2019 piece of shit reimagining. After that, it was time to watch the show, which aired on the Sci-Fi Channel, but you could also watch it on Peacock. The show is, or I guess was, set in the continuity of the mainline films and sees Chucky in modern times terrorizing a group of teenagers, all in the hopes of achieving his own goals and related to his voodoo possessing schemes. Most of what I'll say here applies to all 3 seasons, but later on I'll hone in on what I thought of individually each of the 3 seasons of the show and how they compare to each other. Now, in a general sense, the show's tone is exactly what you would want from Chucky, and that's a perfect mix of consistent dark comedy energy. After the original Child's Play, the majority of the Chucky films weren't really interested in being scary or tension-filled, and for good reason, because once you know that the doll is alive, there's no point in trying to fake a bunch of artificial tension. Chucky's personality is all over this show, and no slasher, besides maybe Art the Clown, has as much fun doing his thing as him, and he's consistently hilarious. Shout out to Brad Dourif for consistently doing an amazing job doing Chucky's voice after all these years.
You bitches miss me?
I also think on a technical level, the puppet effects are about as good as you could ask for in modern day. The only thing that I don't really like on the technical side when it comes to the puppet stuff are those awkward shots with clearly a little kid or a midget in a Chucky costume. Those shots are usually done when it's a quick shot of Chucky running away, but thankfully they don't happen too often. The films were guilty of this also. I really enjoyed though how every episode builds on Chucky's kill count. He gets at least one highlight kill in every episode. Thankfully they don't chicken out when it comes to showing some pretty fucked up kills. What makes it work even better is that the characters that he's killing are actually playing a role through the season or the episode story, which adds to the further feeling of chaos brought on by the Chuckster. But as much fun as Chucky and the kills can be, I think the thing I loved most about this series is how it ties into the previous films, mainly in bringing characters back. The previous films in the series, again minus the 2019 reimagining, can be categorized into eras based on their main characters. The first 3 Child's Play films are the Andy trilogy. Bride of Chucky and Seed of Chucky are obviously the Tiffany era, and then Curse of Chucky and Cult of Chucky are the Nika era. These main characters from these previous films are nicely interwoven into the new goings-ons from our new characters in the series here, and so it makes the entire Chucky franchise feel like one big f***ed up epic, unlike any other slasher franchise. I mean, at this point, Tiffany is pretty essential to have in a Chucky series, and Jennifer Tilly brings a whole lot of great personality for the show and is just perfect for the tone of Chucky. But the inclusion of Andy and Nika shows how Chucky can mentally leave you f***ed for life. Your main protagonists that we follow here in the series, starting in season 1, are somewhat of a mixed bag. I actually like the development of them coming together through Chucky and the camaraderie they share, specifically how Lexi goes from just being a total of a bully to Jake to becoming a legit friend of his. I guess my main problem here was just the cringe love story between Jake and Devin, because the acting for those love scenes was just so bad, and it just gets worse and worse as it goes along, to where by season 3 I was just begging for these scenes to be stopped when they popped up. Probably the best character development though was the effect that Chucky had on Lexi's little sister Caroline. It's corrupted and chucked up, but in the best kind of Chucky way.
Hey kid, I'm gonna go kill your sister. Wanna come?
I'm sleepy.
You snooze, you lose.
Those would be my general feelings for the entirety of the show, so now I'll go into my quick feelings of what I thought about each individual season, again without any major spoilers. Season 1 was a great mix of starting off with our newer characters and eventually bringing in the continuity from the previous films. It's the most tension-filled out of all the seasons, as it starts off kind of like the original Child's Play, where you're just waiting for the seemingly ordinary doll to go crazy, but then eventually things get pretty chucked up here. It's got awesome use of music, using Hedge will roll for the scene where he reveals to the school that he chopped off the principal's head. All the elements come together to deliver an excellent season 1. I was obviously very much excited for season 2 after watching season 1. And while it had legit fun moments in line with the best of season 1, the story was just a mess. The main plotline of all these multiple Chuckies was just messy, and while I loved Jennifer Tilly, there was probably just too much Tiffany here, to where you had multiple episodes that were just purely centered on her. But the best thing about her inclusion here was showing what happened to Chucky and Tiffany's kid, Glenn/Glenda. That was a pretty nice inclusion. It's without a doubt the least memorable out of all the seasons, and I honestly have a tough time remembering it, save for some key aspects that I wasn't crazy about. I do remember really liking the final episode though, which took place on Christmas. But as much as I love Chucky, season 2 was kind of a meh for me. Season 3 was a unique experience to watch. I was watching the show as it was airing on Sci-Fi each week with every episode last year. But then the season went on pause after 4 episodes because of the actor and writer strike and all that drama behind the scenes. The season eventually ended up finishing airing back in May, but I admittedly didn't get around to watching it until months later. The season sees Chucky, for reasons that I won't spoil, needing to kill folks in a place of importance, so he chooses to do it in the White House. Needless to say, there's an immediate intrigue with the premise here, but the execution is brilliant. The show starts off with the basic Chucky in the White House gimmick, which is obviously fun on its own. But then more and more gets revealed about what his real goals are, plus you get the intersecting stories of our main characters from seasons 1 and 2, and you just get an awesome season with just a brilliant couple of final episodes. This season was a total yeah, and was just so much fun to watch.
What are you guys talking about?
Killing people.
What the
Unfortunately, season 3 ended on a bit of a cliffhanger, meaning that the news of the series getting cancelled is quite unfortunate. Now, I don't think it's the most torturous cliffhanger ever done, but at the same time, it would have been nice to see where the story would have gone after this. The creator of Chucky and the series, Don Mancini, said there's plans to do another film, so Chucky won't be gone for long. But I know admittedly I know some of the series actors have stated that they hope that another network can pick up the series eventually. It's just a franchise that's just so much fun for the fans and so merchandisable that, there's no way it'll ever be permanently gone. Just look at its presence at Hot Topic or Universal Studios during Halloween Horror Nights.
Hello there, my relatives. It's me, Chucky. I'm your friend in the end, till I stab you in the back.
There's been plenty of killer dolls over the years, whether it's Annabelle, Billy the Puppet, or everyone's new favorite Megan or Mathregan, but none of them can compare to Chucky.
Oh, God. What are you doing? No. Kill me now. Ah, little bitch. She stole my moves. Fuck you, Mathregan.
Anyways, that'll do it for this review of Chucky the TV series. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you for watching.